Welcome, one and all. Today it's day 64 of 100 days of code. And I think we're going to go through quite a bit today, but I don't want to spoil. So let's just have someone explain it that can explain it a lot better than I can, which is Leon Andersen. Leon, how are you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm a bit tired, but excited about all the time I had with code today and yesterday a little bit as well. So I did the section on controllers and with the star ratings. Did the section on image upload, and then 2 sections on maps, basically adding maps to campgrounds, and then also adding like a giant cluster map with an overview of all the campgrounds. And yeah, let's start with controllers, I would say. If you go to the controllers folder, campgrounds is probably one of the best one to start explaining. And then also, if you can open the app.js as well, and if you scroll down even a little bit, where do we have it? Not too fast. Couldn't read all of it, but there we have it. So basically, here in the app.js, which is basically the same as the usual index file, we have the routes set up or initialized or activated, I don't know, mounted as a are routes middleware?
No routes are routes.
Okay, got it. Because it's a app instead of an app.use. True. It's not a middleware.
Those are routers, right, that are used here?
Got it. So basically, those 3 lines from 142 to 144, they all link to different routes, the campground routes, the review routes, and the user routes. I think I'm not sure why they're called user routes. I think they're about login and register and stuff. So if we go into the campgrounds.js file, we can see, if you scroll down, where are the controllers? Somewhere we would see routes.router or something like that, router.routes or something. In users.js, okay. But we should have that in the other files as well. Router, there we have it, router.route. Why didn't I see it before? Probably because we were scrolled too far down, or?
We have 2 files. So we have the routes folder right here, where we hook up our controllers, and we have the controller folder where we define the controllers. And we were in the controllers folder, but I think you wanted to go to the routes folder.
Yes, I want to go to the routes folder. So controllers are basically, as far as I understood it, these are okay. So we set up the controllers through routes. I don't know. The controllers are like, the whole concept of controllers for me is just making the code.
Well, the difference, I think, maybe it's just because of a word, but the difference is a router versus a route, right? And controllers are, so to speak, the handle part of the route.
Yes.
Like a route can be made up of different things. Like here we have a route that's just the handler, But here we have a route that before the route comes, we have a bunch of middleware. Before the handler comes, before the controller comes, with a
Yes.
bunch of middleware. So you could argue, okay, all of this together is the post route here. But the controllers just create the specific logic that's not reused between multiple routes. That's just specific to the specific route. Those are the controllers.
Yes, basically this is an interplay of like the whole syntax that we see is an interplay of routes and controllers to make the code more easy to read, more simpler, more structured, and one part of it is to basically replace the route handler callback function, which contains all the logic, to basically replace that with a controller, which is basically just the one could say similar to just a function expression, I would say. Would that be a correct comparison?
Well, function expression is just the way that you define a function, right? And controllers can be both. You can define a controller like this, where you have an arrow function expression, but you could also make it a function like this.
Okay, then I don't mean a function expression. I mean when you have when you use the name of the function inside of another function.
You mean that you use a function as an argument that's just like applying higher, like you're using higher order functions, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's what I meant. It's confusing some syntax here, but yeah, basically this I would. Well, you can create a function without defining it with the variable, right? With the variable name.
Well, you can only do that in line, kind of. Right. So for example, here we inline the function definition, but we always have to put this somewhere. So here we're putting it onto the exported object under the key index. But you like just doing this is valid JavaScript, but it does nothing, right? And it cannot be referenced because it's just an empty space, so to speak. There is something called an immediately invoked function expression, which would be this. Just in this case, it doesn't make sense, but you can define a function and then immediately invoke it. But it's a barely used concept. So in general, in 99% of the cases, you always want to assign your function to something, either to a key of an object, like we do it here, or to a variable, or inline it in a handler somewhere.
Okay, so then I guess the best way to describe it is that the controller, for example, in this case, line 14, campgrounds.create campground. This is similar to using the variable instead of writing down the whole function inside of it. Does that make sense?
Could you just repeat the last part of it?
So using a controller is very similar to using to invoking a function by using its variable name and instead of writing the whole function down.
That is, the controllers is just a way to refactor your code exactly like you described. So when you use the controller pattern, you just save the handlers, basically, or called controllers, but I don't want to use the same name in the definition. But you basically save the route handlers in their own file and then just export them. right? But whether we do it this way and say module.index equals to this function, or we would do it this way, index, and when we say const index equals to this, makes the difference, right? This one is just shorter and just immediately assigns it to the export name.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I just didn't know how to explain it properly, but that's what I meant. So yeah, so this way we have the logic of the route handler we can have it in separate files, and have it all way more structured this way. And yeah, I mean that's it with controllers basically. And the routers.route, if you go to the routes again, the cool thing about this is that we can basically group the different request routes by path. So as we can see, the router.route of the index has two different request routes, and the /id router.route has three different ones. And so this way you can, yeah, it's a nice grouped way to see to faster see what belongs to what, and how everything is related to each other. And also, yeah, now that we have it, we can have each one of them in one line because of the controllers. It's even more, it's an even better overview. Am I going to use this kind of syntax in the future, or is it completely different in React?
And like React has nothing to do with the server. React primarily is all about the browser. So you're going to use the concept of like just passing functions into other functions, right? But that's just general JavaScript. All of this router stuff is strictly patterns that you learned regarding Express. However, if you ever work at an Express project, all of this, what you just learned, will be highly useful.
Yes, okay.
And Express is the #1 server framework when it comes to JavaScript still, so it's very relevant knowledge.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, cool. So yeah, and then basically the rest of the of this section was about star ratings. Let me see, where did we? Maybe in public, the public folder. Probably in the style sheets. Where are you? Yeah, so this is in the style sheets. Where are you? So you opened all files with the star.
So yeah, here we have the EJS file, right, with the different stars, and here stars CSS, the star file.
Yes, the style sheet, and the reviews.js maybe has something about stars as well, right?
I don't see anything here.
Pardon?
I don't see anything here in the reviews. So maybe that's code that I'm missing that you didn't send me.
No, it's just yeah, somewhere the show EJS should be rendered in here. So what are I doing?
In the review schema overrating?
Yeah, no, not in the schema. No, that doesn't make sense.
Well, here's the EJS file where we render the stars, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. Here we render the stars, but exactly. So the review schema and the review model or review review controller routes, they just basically they render the show.ejs file, and then on there we use the star CSS, and yeah, we basically copied some starability or something like that. That's kind of a package. We also have to install and require it. Not sure in which file we actually required it. This is all basically just looking it up in the docs and following the docs instructions. Like, I don't know, I remember back when I was really young and I installed some cracked programs where it's like following some README instructions. Feels very similar to this, and yeah, understanding like the basic structure of it, and then changing some of the parameters to make it fit to the to your needs. Yeah, I think the most important part was to set the name to review rating, so it's it fits into our naming scheme, and so yeah, basically form action reviews post validate form. Can you scroll a little bit? Okay, which belongs to which review author? Okay, so can you scroll up a bit again, please? More, please. That's a bit too far. Yes. Div current user. Yeah. So and yeah, basically, I mean, there are some settings here and there to make everything go smoothly, and as you can see in line 53, also make sure to put this rating form basically. Well, oh, if current user, is this the show or the edit EJS? No, it's the show EJS. Why is there if current user? Let me think. Because usually we can see all of the reviews, even when we're not logged in.
Well, think about what section this is.
Leave a that's weird. Why is this not the edit EJS? Do we have the edit EJS as well? Yeah, that's weird.
Well, that's for the campground.
That's okay. That's campground. What? Why is there campground show? Why? Why don't we have an extra folder for the? Is there an extra folder for the reviews? Review edit?
No, it's all in the campground photos.
Okay, so then okay, so yeah, then we have an extra edit page for the campgrounds, but we included the editing of the review on the show page. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And does the if current user make sense to you now?
yeah. That was what I thought of at first, but then I thought, well, show, why is that not on the edit page? But then I remembered that we
So why do we have that condition here?
yeah, we have it because we want to only enable reviewing as soon as or when someone is logged in, because otherwise we can't link it to an account or anything. Otherwise, it would be like
Exactly.
anonymous data. So yeah, stuff like that, making sure that we paste the star rating in the right section of the code. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that makes sense to talk about the star rating?
That's perfectly fine what you did. Awesome.
Okay. All right. So yeah, then the next section was on the image uploading process. We installed a middleware which is called Malter, which comes also with a sub package that uses Cloudinary. So somewhere we also have Malter plus Cloudinary, Malter storage Cloudinary, exactly. And yeah, that there's all different kinds of steps of that. One important step is basically connecting to the, I don't know if that's the same as connecting to the API of Cloudinary, but we got some, it's connected to the API. We have the API key, cloud name, and the API secret, and we stored those in a .env for environment, I think, environment variables file. So basically with this, we are logging behind the scenes. We enabled that we can log into Cloudinary. Cloudinary is basically an image upload or an image cloud that you can use to host your files on that you want to display on your website. And there's all sorts of linking up in between all those different packages and services. And the Malter is basically a middleware that enables that the file upload form is able to have is even able to upload files rather than just the URL encoded format. We can't really upload files with the URL encoded format. So this is part of what Malter does as well. And in line 10, we see that we basically just did this. We basically just configured Cloudinary, that we saved everything in the folder Yelp Camp and what kind of formats are allowed, and stuff like that. So we exported Cloudinary in storage so we can use it in the edit file, in the edit EJS, and in the, I'm not sure if it's in the camp, it's probably in the campground controllers as well. Can you open those? And
So Malta is being used again in the and Malta and storage is being used again in the routes folder, and cloudinary is also being used again in the controllers.
Yes. And we are also using, pretty sure that we're using something of that we're using in the edit page as well. Let me think. In the campground edit and campground create. Yeah, we need to have some kind of link from the file upload form to the route to the request handler. Can you open the edit EJS? So we need to look for a form with the file, exactly. So here we have, yeah, we need to enable multiple and name image and ID image. I'm just wondering, how do we link from there to Malta? Because usually with the forms we always had like action and then posts and URL encoded. Is this also okay? But how?
So multi-part forms right here allow file uploads.
Yes, we added that, exactly. We didn't have that part in the form before. So maybe just a clarification question. So does this, am I right that this enables that we can have both URL encoded and the image upload?
I think so. I don't usually work with URL encoded, so I cannot specifically say it, but it probably does, because EngType definitely activates the images.
The what?
The file upload for the images?
Images, okay. That was hardly audible. EngType activates images.
Yeah, so EngType stands for encoding type, and images are usually, because they are big, or they can be big, they are chopped up into multiple parts. And that's what the encoding type multi-part form data basically activates.
Got it. Okay, yeah. And then if we look into the campground routes, yeah, we can see that, I mean, well, in line 7 and 8, we can basically see, or in 6, 7, and 8, we can see that we first import Malta, then import Cloudinary, and we import Cloudinary with the variable name of storage, basically. And then in line 8, we put Cloudinary into Malta with the variable name of storage. So this way we connected both services, or both packages, and then where do we use upload on this page? Can you scroll a bit? Should be a new form. No, okay. Upload.array image. Yes, exactly. So basically, that's one thing that we that probably needs to be fine-tuned later on or cleaned up later as well, is that we upload images before we even validate the data or validate the form. This would become a problem and with at a larger scale, even if you would automatically delete or cancel the upload. If the form does not correctly get validated and submitted, because then, yeah, you could upload a ton of files and also and directly or you could always start an upload and then cancel it again, start it, cancel it, start, cancel, and I mean, probably could do that with a validated form as well. Yeah, I don't know. Is there, but something seems, I'm sure that Colt said that there needs to be something fixed, and something doesn't seem right about this, about how we do it here as well. But it's a, I don't exactly remember what the problem was. I only know what it is and or yeah, but yeah, what would you say is the
And what you're just describing, that let's say because a form submission can take a very long time, very long as in a second or maybe 2-3 seconds, or maybe if you're uploading a big file like a video to YouTube or so, maybe even minutes. But let's just take a look at the image case where it can take like a second or two. And if upload a form submission takes so long, then you can have the problem where where the users maybe spam clicking for some reason the submit button, and suddenly they're triggering lots of requests to the server. And getting this stuff right is something that is extremely hard. And in the for many years, 99% of people just didn't care at all and just had this weird behavior in literally all apps. And it has only like seriously stopped being an issue because Remix and the newest version of Next.js, they do this request canceling automatically for you. But it was a problem that basically every app had and no one took care of, just because it's very hard to abort an in-flight request in the browser, especially when you have custom code. But yeah, these newer frameworks, they are aware of all the requests that are going on. And in case a request is triggered twice, the default behavior is that the first request gets aborted and then the second request is the one that comes through.
I'm just wondering, why can't we use the upload, the image upload in the after the validate campground middleware?
Well, because the image is part of the campground and you want to validate that too.
Yeah. Well, we don't have it. We don't have an upload required.
But we're also cleaning the HTML here. Well, oh no, maybe that's not about the image.
We have it in the Joy thing. This I know. We have well, we have
It's not for the image upload.
It's weird. But I have never seen the sanitized HTML thing. That's probably not correctly, so not the right code again.
But in general, just generally speaking, you want to make sure that you validate the input after you gathered all the input. And I think this upload array method makes sure that the image is included. Otherwise, if we do it afterwards, then maybe we wouldn't validate the image. That's like my gut feeling. Well, no.
And the array is the array method is a built-in JavaScript, a native method, right? It's not
No, that's from Multi. Right, we're creating the upload object here. Then we're saying upload.array.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is how we. Well, why is the I'm just wondering why aren't we using the upload inside of the update campground or create campground controller? Can't we build it somewhere in that logic as well? Can you go to the campgrounds controllers, please? So stop. Can you go? Yeah, that's the update one. Can you go up to the create? Yes. We should have stop. Images, campground images. Request files.map. So the files is probably where the array gets uploaded to, and then we map from there, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, sounds right.
So I guess then it's then Malter automatically uploads arrays into request.files, and but or did we define it somewhere, or did we define that method before, or is it something by
Well, it looks like it's by Malta. Yeah, by the middleware.
got it. So I'm just wondering, what if? Yeah, no, that makes sense. So the files is basically just a temporary storage of data for each request. So there aren't like files compiling and appending to each other. So we don't get we don't map over more files than we actually requested, I guess. I'm just wondering why, like, because files sounds like there could be all sorts of different files inside of that.
I mean, by the design that we created, it should all be the images.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess if you would design, you could probably design it that you could have request.files or .videos.map if you would split it down further. I guess something like that would be possible. I was just wondering about, basically different options there. Anyways, that's basically how we uploaded files. And we need to store the image links inside of Mongo. We did that. Where do we have it? Basically also in the same line, where we basically create the f.file and f.file name. This should store the path and URL. So file name is basically the image link. This should store it inside of our Mongo database. I'm just wondering why we can use f in here as the variable, because we want to store it on campground. Oh yeah, we have it. We have it in front of, at the beginning of the line. We have campground.images. But why? Wait. How? Why is it f.path then and not? Got it. F.path becomes campground.images URL. Yeah, that makes sense. Did I get
Exactly.
that right?
But do you know why it's called F?
Because you could also call it Jerry, I guess.
Exactly. Okay. I just want to make sure that was clear to you.
So I guess he used F because of file, but not sure.
Yeah, by the way, it's also an anti-pattern, these shorthand things. You should always write out what you mean, because sometimes people have long objects and the creator of the code knows what it means. But if you have like a FDBK, like you don't know what that means, right? Even though it maybe means like file database key, you know? But you're like, what is an FDBK?
Or fuck that bull crap.
Yeah, like a crab, like the thing with the claws.
Exactly. So okay, yeah, this is so this way we also store the image links in Mongo. So if we retrieve the images when we want to, if we retrieve the campgrounds, when we render the show page or whatever, then we can access the image links and use them to fetch the data from Cloudinary again. I'm just wondering how we're fetching the data from Cloudinary. Probably in the EJS somewhere in the show EJS. Somewhere we should have a card with the class images. Carousel, exactly. And they are image.url. I'm just wondering how we access the image. How do we campground.images for each? Yeah, that makes sense. And then we basically for each loop over campground.images. Yeah, this is how we basically access the URLs. I'm just wondering, because in the campgrounds controller, we basically store the path and the file name, and I'm wondering why don't we access this with file name, but rather with no. Can you go on the campgrounds controllers page again? So we have campground.images .path and .file .url and .file name, right? In line 24. Or
Yeah, we have .url and we have .file name, exactly.
but so I'm wondering why in show.ejs do we have img and not images dot URL in line 9? Yes.
Because we could also name it Jerry.
So basically, we're taking each image from images. We're calling it img just temporarily, but we're still accessing the .url of the same element.
Yes.
Okay. JavaScript is funny. So,
Well,
okay.
those are multiple elements, right? Images is an array, and we are just iterating through it. And in EJS, the thing that is basically the equivalent of a map function is the for each loop. And the for each loop takes into arguments the current object in their current iteration and the index that they're currently at. And all of the files inside of the images array have a URL and have a file name.
So it's the same as img of images.
For each iteration, img is the respective item in the images array.
Yeah, couldn't we do this pretty much the same with for let or with the normal for loop?
No, because this is EJS and EJS is weird. But that's why I love React, because in React you can just use straight up JavaScript and you don't have to worry about the template specific syntaxes.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, basically we break it down into img then to access individual images and not just the campground.images array as a whole. Yeah. What else did we do? Yeah, we displayed the images in the carousel. Same stuff like with the star rating, and yeah, I mean, I'm going over the section to see how much I should go into detail.
Sure. Yeah, I was just encouraging you.
Okay. Okay, so customizing file input. Yeah, well, we basically we added the image upload, not only to the show page but also to the edit page. I mean, yeah, we don't have any upload on the show page, as far as I know. We have it on the edit page and on the new page, and on the edit page we had a little twist where we basically just how did we do it? Yeah, I mean, on the edit page itself, we basically have pretty much the same. Oh no, we also rendered out the all images inside of this campground images array in thumbnails, and also with a checkbox next to each image. So once the image, so once you click the image and then click the checkbox and then submit the form, then those get deleted. And this basically gets, I'm wondering which part of the program actually executes the deletion. I guess it's the form. Like, where's the deletion part? Yeah, that's just a label, right? Input checkbox, but I don't see like the action of this form. Shouldn't the action of this form be?
No, it's all going through the same action again here at the top. Right, it's just one big form. And here's the checkbox that says, hey, should we delete the images?
Yeah, I'm wondering what, like, because we're not really sending it to a delete request then, right?
Yes, it's in the update request. Well, it's here. And if the delete images value is present in the body and it's true, then
Yeah, I
it
got it.
deletes all images.
That's what I was looking for, exactly. Yeah. So basically, yeah, we use the line 65 Cloudinary destroy function or feature, and also the line 67 to also delete it from our Mongo database, and deleting from arrays in Mongo is a good way to do it is with $pull. So this way we like pull individual images, individual file names out of the images array, but only the file names who are in the request body of the delete images request. What is the delete images? Is that a request or like how would you call this object? Like in the yeah.
That's just a property on the body. It's a, well, the body is an object, right? And delete images is a key and the value is a string if the checkbox is checked with the content true. And otherwise it's undefined if the checkbox is not checked. And therefore you can just use it. Oh no, it's a for off name. So probably in delete images are all the file names of the images that we want to delete.
So basically that's an array, I guess, or an object.
Yeah, delete images is an array, I think, because let's just look at it real quick. Yeah, no. Wait, where are we deleting the images? Here.
Not on was it on the show page?
All that on the edit page, maybe?
Edit page should be
Yeah.
it.
And here we're iterating through all the images. That means each image gets its own checkbox. That makes sense. And if we check it, we put the file name as the value. That makes also sense. So therefore, it makes sense that here we have an array of file names.
But how does it know that is the delete images array? This gets created new, right? This gets created on the spot by clicking those.
By the form, yes.
So can you go to the edit EJS? Now you're on show. So here, like, what part of this saves it into an array for images for each?
The name. As far as I understand it, Jeff.
Okay, okay, that's the EJS thing. Because I was wondering about that. Yes,
Yes.
because of the empty array, I thought, but usually name has a like I associate that with something like ID and class, and not with like a yeah. Okay, so that's some EJS syntax then. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and in order to make the thumbnails, the images thumbnails, here we basically added the dot thumbnail property, which we created. I think we created the thumbnail property somewhere beforehand. Can you click on the dot thumbnail and see if that leads somewhere?
Thumbnail, I think, comes with a thumbnail. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a virtual basically. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a really cool thing. So basically, we used the virtual for this. Virtual is basically, just to recap. I mean, we had it before, but I like the explanation that it's a property or a set of data that you create, that you derive from data that you already have, but you don't store it. You basically just create it temporarily to use it. So basically, like combining from different data sources, or combining different values from your data sources to a new one. And in this case, we basically created the we combined the URL of the Cloudinary link with, or we replaced upload, which is part of that URL always, with upload /w200, which is basically signaling to the Cloudinary API that we so Cloudinary sends us a thumbnail directly instead of the full picture. With W200 is standing for width of 200. So basically, in the URL, you can define or configure different properties of what you want the Cloudinary API to send you back. So this way, we created the thumbnail method. Is that a method? I'm confused.
The thumbnail is a key, because the value becomes a key on the image object.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So it's a temporary key for the time of the request, basically, or for just for that.
Well, when the image gets read from the database, then the thumbnail is always included.
It's not always included, no. Only on the edit page.
I think it's only used on the edit page, but I think it may be included in everything where we at least read from the database.
I'm pretty sure that because it's a virtual, it only gets created when we call it, and we only call it on the, I don't know if it's called calling it, but if we're using it, and we're only using it in the edit page and not in the, like in the normal show page, we get the full picture, full image.
That's not possible, because JavaScript hasn't such a thing where it knows that something is called and then can create it in the background. But I'm pretty sure as long as you read from the database, you always get it.
It's not a part of JavaScript. It's a Mongoose virtual. Or
yes. But Mongo, same thing. Then Mongo would need to know inside of JavaScript that something is being read, and that is not something that is possible.
Okay.
Like obviously when you create an image and stuff, it's not there, right? Because it's not in the request. But when you read an image from the database, when you get the current data that's in the database, and I think it's always included. So let me quickly look up the shell.
So if we would console.log the image schema inside of the show page, there should also be the thumbnail key existing at that point. If you're
from the show page. Like where do we create images? This is where we render the images. Yeah, I think here in this case, probably all of the images would also have this virtual property. Because here we are rendering the existing images.
So if we would console.log in the campground controller, can you go to not models but campground controller, and show campground? If we console.log campgrounds.image campground.image, then it should also have the thumbnail property, or the thumbnail key.
I think so, yeah.
Can we test that, or
I cannot run this on my machine. I don't have Mongo and stuff installed, but you can test it on your stuff when you run the code.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So at least I got the exercise of thinking through how I would check it. would be too much effort now to set it up. I think it makes sense to go to the next topic before. So yeah, then we added the maps, so we not only just see pictures of the campgrounds, but also see where they are located. And for this, we use the service, that's called Mapbox. And we worked with GeoJSON files, or file format, or data format. And basically, I don't think it makes sense to go too much into detail, because it's really just getting those, requiring it, setting, like doing all the stuff that the package needs to run, and then requesting or accessing the right keys and values, and linking them to the right spots inside of the map markup. Mapbox code, basically. I think the main Mapbox code is stored in the, not sure if it's even in the boilerplate. By the way, why is it called boilerplate?
That's just basically a catch-all term, and usually it's also used in the context of there's too much code necessary to do something simple, like you. It's hard to describe, but the sentence that you would use is, "I don't like Redux because it contains so much boilerplate." So boilerplate is just a big amount of code, and it's usually used in the context of you need a lot to do very little.
Got it. Okay, so basically, Yeah, in this project, the boilerplate file is a template file that we use for stuff that should be on every page. Can you go to that file maybe? Because I think it's
Which file? What did you want to go to?
boilerplate is the name.
But
I think there should be something about the maps as well. Is that it? JS deliver popper. Yeah, there we have it, the mapbox thing. So inside of the boilerplate, we basically kind of require it. And we're also linking to the style sheet that belongs to it. Wait, no. Why is it linking? Why is the mapbox href also linking to style sheet? Okay, maybe the
the
Oh, yeah,
mapbox that you render probably also needs a style sheet.
So I guess then in app.css we have some more of the mapbox stuff as well. Okay, just some like, why is app.css so small? Such a small file, or is it only a part of the app.css?
No, I think that's all of the. So there's only one app.css file.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so yeah, so as you can see in all sorts of different places inside of the folder structure, we have to paste some of the mapbox stuff and of the mapbox code, and then we basically tweak some of the properties there to make it fit to our needs. And then we also use the GeoJSON 5 or data format, data structure in our campground seed and in our campground model. Should be maybe higher. Yeah, somewhere. We should have, geometry, that's it. So we basically have the coordinates, and the thing is that coordinates in GeoJSON are switched. Usually it's first longitude and then altitude, and here it's the other way around, or whatever I just said, the other way around, I don't know. But so we basically then went into the which file was that? Should be some of the seed files. Not the seed helpers. Should export? No, not the cities. Yeah, should be somewhere in here. Coordinates. So we have geometry, type, points, and then coordinates, and then we basically got the we have the cities the random 1,000 cities dot longitude and dot latitude. We basically pull those values from our cities.js file, and we created we basically made sure that our fake campgrounds all have the right GeoJSON format with this line 34 to 40. And yeah, because of that, we now have a lot of different, as we can see in line 24, 300 campgrounds with actual how's it called, coordinates, which we can display on the map. And then basically we build a cluster map. That's the next section, which was a similar process, also reseeding our database. Actually, that's what I just described to you, what we did in the section. And yeah, it's basically the same process, getting the cluster map. It's very similar to the whole Bootstrap thing, and all the packages that we used, and then tweaking parts of it to our needs, and linking the right data paths, and yeah, that can be a lot of detailed work. And what I liked was that Colt also showed when he had to look up stuff himself, because that stuff, unless you are specialized on setting up maps for websites, it's probably stuff that you do only a few times in your maybe in your career, or at least just every few projects. So that's it for this day. A lot of stuff.
We went through 4 sections, so yeah, great. And it seems like even though you don't code with everything, it seems like the general understanding that you're taking away is still pretty deep, at least from what it seems like on this call.
I mean, it helps a lot that I can practice my understanding with you. So
True.
by regurgitating what I learned, this is amazingly helpful. And yeah, I mean, I do have, let me check if I have questions left. Yeah, so we talked about the uploading before validation in the form. Is that something that makes sense to learn with the old how's it called with the old frameworks, or should I wait for until I learn Remix and that stuff?
You do need to put extra work into it. So we're going to cover all of this when we get to modern stuff.
Got it. Perfect. So, okay. What else did I have? Okay, I have a question about restructuring or destructuring. So basically, there's one example. Maybe if you search for pop-up text, camel case pop, and then, or I don't know if it's actually needed. Yeah. And that's weird that he didn't write it with the uppercase U in here. There should be pop-up text like pop and then uppercase U, P, and then also text uppercase again. Yes.
I did a case in sensitive search, so it should have popped up, but it's not either in the code.
In the whole project.
Yep. No
That's
pop-up text.
That's weird. Can you look for pop-up markup? Pop-up markup. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Pop-up markup. Yes, exactly. So here, in line 109, we had const text equals e.features dot properties dot pop-up markup. And my question is, I do understand why that it makes sense to destructure it. But my question is, how does, like, this is basically the same as line 109, but I'm wondering, how does the destructuring logic know that pop-up markup was the last in the chain? Is it always the last in the chain when you destructure in this kind of syntax, or yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I get the question. So destructuring is always about the object that this last thing is. But you can only destructure objects, so that means properties must be an object. And since we have pop-up markup here, it means it has to have like a thing called pop-up markup.
Okay.
So this thing is looking like this. Maybe there are more keys, but it looks at least like this.
Well, it's basically a parent-child relationship to some degree. Or am I getting that wrong?
I've never heard parent-child used in the context of the structure.
I mean, pop-up markup isn't that a child of properties?
No, pop-up markup is a key of properties.
Yes, but are like in the grand scheme of things, isn't that the same concept? Like a substructure of properties?
I don't know. Again, like I've never ever heard that before, calling the structure relationship a parent-child relationship.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't use it use that description with someone else. I only wanted to draw the parallel.
If it helps you in your mind, like in my mind, I have not connected it to any of those concepts in my mind. I just connected, okay, properties is an object, and I can just grab the keys and their values using the destructuring syntax from it.
Yeah, I'm looking for a meta description, like would you say that a child is a substructure of a parent?
That depends on the relationship, right? So, for example, in parent-class relationships, class the child are always everything that the parent is and more. Right, and I think in your example right now, childs have to be smaller than the parent. But there are definitely cases where people actively call stuff parents and childs. For example, in the context of classes, and childs are equal or bigger than parents.
I'm thinking more like, yeah. Yeah, I guess there are different ways or different ways of these kinds of relationships. Yeah. It's So would you say pop-up markup is a part of properties?
100%, yes.
And would you say a child is a part of a parent?
No. But
Okay.
in many cases, and especially not in classes, for example, children, the child entity is really different from the parent. And in React, you also have props and children, and children are just the stuff that's inside of the parent tag, which I guess here you could say pop-up markup is inside of properties. But yeah, again, because there are ways where child's and parent relationships are so different, mainly in the context of classes, I would just not make that connection in my brain. If it helps you do it, right? But
Yeah,
like I
I'm not.
wouldn't
I'm
do
not
it.
trying to make the connection between pop-up markup and between pop-up markup and child, but I'm trying to make a connection between parent-child relationships and object-key relationships.
Got it. I mean, in classes where you have parents and childs, write all the keys that the parent has, the child has too.
Okay. Yeah, I guess then it's not the. I guess then it's not necessary to draw similarities between those between both wordings. The only reason is because the time we had the use of parent and child before was when appending in the DOM, because there it was very similar to the key of an object, and also with the routing we had a few days ago, with the express routes, and there it was not too similar to object key relationship. Yeah, okay, so it's a good nuance, like and disentanglement of those descriptions in my brain. That's good. Now I know that I would. So in this case, my starting question was why, like, how does the destructuring know where the pop-up markup is coming from, if it's always the last in the chain? And now I would describe it. It's because pop-up markup is a part of the last object in the chain.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know how to describe it. Perfect. All right.
Move.
Yeah, that was part of the question. And then also I'm wondering if we have something like e.features.properties, is this like it's like a chain of syntax? I don't know, like a chain of not all of those are objects, right? E is probably for element.
Event.
Pardon?
E stands for event in this case.
For the click event. Yeah, got it. Event.
By the way, that's a reason why you never do abbreviations. They always spell out the full thing.
Yes. I mean, yeah. So then features is Is features a key again? No.
Features is a key on event, yeah. So basically the way this looks is like this. Const event equals to features, and this is an array with an object, properties, and this has markup. Well, okay, code. Let me just close it all. So pop-up markup, let's just call it like foo or whatever. And let's close this one, Okay, we're good. So this is basically the structure of it, right? And with the structuring, I'm just going to do it one more time. We've done it before, but I feel like some of these things you have to see over and over again. And the more context you have, the easier it will be for you to remember this. So I'm going to give you one more time the different ways that you could destructure this, right? You could grab pop-up markup.
I'm pretty sure I understand the destructuring. I'm just wondering how I call this. Like, what's the name?
Then let me check if you understand destructuring. How would you destructure this if you only had E here? If you're not allowed to put anything after the E, how would you destructure the pop-up markup?
Okay. There are probably several nested brackets, right?
Yes.
So every variable that's in front of the equal sign is being defined, right?
No, only the last ones. So the goal is that you only have a new variable definition called pop-up markup at the end.
Okay, because I remember destructuring examples where we have multiple variables defined from an object.
Yeah, you can, right? So for example, if there was, I don't know, like point in here, right? This way now we had two defined, but the goal is to only define pop-up markup.
Okay. I don't remember any example where. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, only the last one. Okay, I mean, wait. Well, isn't it just everything from line 109 after the equal sign copied in front of the equal sign?
So tell me what I should write here.
Curly brackets features equals square brackets, curly brackets, properties, curly brackets, colon, curly brackets, pop-up markup.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, it's basically just line 109 switched around.
Exactly. And you can switch at any point, right? You could say e.features and then start structuring. Right? You could say e.features 0 and then start structuring. Right? You can move it left and right however you want and whatever you think is most beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you understand the structuring very well, which you do. So now back to your question. You wanted to just ask something about how to call something, I think?
Yes. How do I call? some like is like because in my mind I would say yeah it's a string of properties like because it's like multiple things, multiple words string together, but I know it's not a string because a string is like in JavaScript is
You could say it's like a chain of accessing properties of property accesses.
okay, a chain. That makes sense. It sounds good. Yeah, it's basically object, key, object. Is it an object, key, object chain in this case?
Well, the nuanced answer is maybe. I think people would understand what you mean. The nuances behind it, right? Arrays are also objects. So you're technically just looking up properties on an object. But yeah, obviously we're looking up a key in the middle. So I think I would count that. I would answer yes to that in the sense that every programmer will probably understand what you mean.
Okay. So with the array, you mean features, right?
Yes, features is an array.
Yeah, but an array, like an array can be a value of a key.
Yes, yes. But I thought that you meant it's an object key, object lookup because we're looking, the way that I understood you is you're saying event is an object. So when we grab the features from it, we do an object lookup. Then features is an array. So when we grab the zeroth element, we're doing a key lookup. And then the thing that is in the first element of the array is an object item. So we're doing a mobile object lookup. That's what I thought you meant when you suggested I would call this an object key
Yeah.
object lookup.
Wouldn't like, is it more like object value object?
I don't know. I think people would never say it like that. People would just say, hey, like let's say you need to describe this line. You would just say, I'm destructuring pop-up markup from the properties, which is a key on the first element of the features array on the event object. So I think people would just describe it more like detailed, more accurate, maybe, if you want to call it that.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes I feel like for example, with the main question that I started with was does the destructuring know it because it's the last in the chain? So I needed a word for the chain thing, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I'll just get used to the language by also. I mean, to me, it's always fun to to slice and dice all these things, but I guess yeah, I guess for now that's enough.
Yes. Long
So
stream. Another feature film length, by the way, another 1.5 hours.
let me. Is it okay if I check for if I have another question or?
Yes.
Okay, so in the reviews controller, we basically export multiple request handlers, one could say, and we export them each individually. And Code said that we can also export them all at once. And I was wondering how that would go. Like, would you put them into an object and have like a key for each of them and then export the object, or? Got it. So, okay, so you don't even have to. Okay, okay. I thought I would need to have the. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
But
Check. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, I had a question, but it's probably not necessary. But I'll just let you know that this is in the back of my mind. We had these login forms, and usually I always remember, like from most sites, you can use username or email. And I was just wondering how one would be able to create a form that takes in both. Um, and But I guess that's something not so important for the future, because
I
we
mean,
only.
it's trivial. You just add another input. Just another input here. Call this one.
Yeah, but the thing is that we had on those pages, on most pages, it's you have the same input, and you can write both into the same input.
Ah, got it, got it, got it. Okay. So then you would just validate on the server side what it is that you got. And there are libraries out there that can detect emails with a pretty high accuracy. And then you can also restrict the way that your username looks. So for example, you can make it super simple and be like, hey, no username gets to have an ad in their handle, like most websites do it. So for example, on Instagram, on X, you cannot call yourself at Leon Andersen, right? Because the ad is already a reserved thing to mention people in posts.
Got
And
it.
then you can easily distinguish, okay, is this an email or is this a username?
Sounds great. So with some kind of if statement logic, like if it's this, then
Yeah, if let's say we call it on the request always username, but you could say if username dot includes at, and then you know it's an email. Otherwise, it's a username.
yes. And then for each case, like if username, then validate this way, if or validate through this path, and if email, validate through this path.
Exactly.
Okay. Then I had the question if it's a good practice to nest try catches.
Usually you don't need to, right? So I would say if you miss try catches, it's an anti-pattern. It's a code smell, and we're gonna go in depth into code smell, but basically it means that maybe everything is perfect, but it's a indication that you're probably doing something not in the optimal way.
Okay, because code used a try catch inside of a catch catch a catch. What was the name of it? Like we had this wrapper function that,
Yeah.
and inside of one of the functions that we put inside of that function, he had he I think it was just for some. I had catch async exactly. Like on some function where we used the catch async, we also had a try catch inside it, and that was a bit weird.
Well, it
So,
can make sense, right? So, while you usually don't see in one single code block try and catch nested, it can be that you implicitly nest them because one function is already handling its own error somehow, and then outside of it, you have somewhere another safeguard. Like that is generally fine, right? I think the anti-pattern or the code smell is if you would have explicitly have another try catch here
got it.
like this joy
Yeah,
character,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you go onto the what page is it? Routers. Um, user routes. And then on the register, we have the catch async. You saw that? We have catch async, and then inside of the we have this try catch again. So I was a bit.
Yeah, I think in this case it's definitely superfluous because the only way that this can break if error.message is not a string, which is very unlikely because as long as error is defined, message is at least undefined, unless you can flash undefined. But yeah, this is the only line that could also blow up because this is that a JavaScript will never blow up.
Okay. Cool. And then I had a question that because on so many pages we require so much stuff, is there like a way to store all the requires on one page and then just require with one line on all of the other files?
It's a pattern that people do, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like in my mind, yeah, it's a lot of code at the top, but it's a lot clearer to only require the stuff that you need. So what do I mean by that? I think already this campgrounds thing could be or is already abused in the way that code does it, because when he uses these in, let's say, the campgrounds roads right here, he's just importing a giant campground object, and then he's saying campgrounds.index campgrounds.render form. But let's say for some reason, right, we would only use one of the methods here, then we still import all of them, and that just overcomplicates it. Versus when you explicitly describe the ones that you want here, then it's super clear, oh, this is the only thing that we use. So when writing code, it's always about reducing the amount of things that the reader has to guess. That's generally like a good rule of thumb. And I would always try to code in a way where there's as little as possible guessing work going on.
Got it. And did I remember it correctly that require is old syntax, and we will start using import soon as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think yeah. Can you search for the term unique and see if it turns up somewhere? Unique true, exactly. I was wondering what checks for unique true. Is that like built in of
Mongoose, yeah. Mongoose makes sure that there's no double value.
So it checks if there is no user schema that has the same email.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I think that's finally it.
More of good. I think one thing that could help is if you watch a lot of code, just have a notepad next to you and just write your questions down. So then you don't need to like explicitly remember them. You can just read it. Okay, next question, right? Just to speed up.
I have them all written down. I'm just searching through which have been answered and which haven't.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Because yeah, and because yeah, I mean, I could start implementing some syntax inside of, because I make the notes inside of Udemy at the moment, because I can then see directly in which video it was and what time, so I could implement some syntax that I make like a check mark in front, like an X in front of it when I have answered it. But
yeah, I think that's fine. Like I didn't anticipate that you probably have more. We already answered a bunch.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, those were the questions that I hinted at on Friday already. So
Awesome. So glad that we got through them.
the backlog is we killed the backlog.
Sweet. Then we are about to kill the stream, but only for today. Tomorrow we're going to stream again as always. Hope everyone had a great time watching. If you're watching the recording, join us live. You can ask questions. We will answer them. And thank you if you watched live. We would love to have you every day here to help you keep up your coding habit too. And other than that, this has been the Code Call together with
Leon Andersen and my mentor.
Alex Mill from 10x Dev. Thank you, everyone.
Until tomorrow, always be